Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where a female officer with a long history of police misconduct pulled a man over and immediately escalated the traffic stop by forcing him out the vehicle and arresting him for no reason. On October 18, 2021, a man named Manuel Mata was driving down the road, making his way to his mother's house in the neighborhood, when he was pulled over by Officer Taylor Stevens of the Fort Worth Police Department. The reason behind the traffic stop was a broken headlight, but the ordeal was handled very inappropriately, as you will see. However, before we jump into Officer Stevens' body cam footage, it's important to understand her notorious background first. Salary records show that Officer Stevens was an active duty officer at the Fort Worth Police Department back in 2018, and in July of that year, she was involved in the death of a man held in custody where 5 officers, including Officer Stevens, neglected his cries for medical attention and instead berated him by threatening to pepper spray him and conspiring to not tell medical staff that he needed help. As a result, the 55-year-old passed away in the back of a police cruiser. To make matters worse, Officer Stevens lied during the investigation and tried to cover it up by convincing her fellow officers to fabricate the situation. But this is where it gets even more ridiculous. She was fired from the department after the investigation in 2019, but was then rehired just 1 year later. Now, let's watch this incident that took place a few months after Officer Stevens was rehired by the Fort Worth Police Department. Please note that the text used in the footage comes from the source.
What's going on, man? What's going on? Got your ID?
No.
No? You don't have an ID or driver's license on you?
No.
No? Okay, why don't you step out with me real quick? Because I asked you to. You were stopped for a traffic violation because you had a headlight out, and now I'm asking you to get out of the car and talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Just because you don't have your ID, I'd like to know who I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? You got anything on you that's gonna poke me, stick me, blow me up?
Nah.
All right, come over here. Put your hands on the glass for me.
But why though?
What did I just ask you?
I understand what
Put your hands. When I tell you to do something, you're gonna do it. Are we clear?
You've
already, you know what? I tell you what.
Don't matter.
We'll do
Go
this.
ahead. Do what y'all need to do.
Yeah, because you've given me issues all the way. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you my name so you can put me on the suit.
It don't matter. I didn't do nothing wrong anyway.
Well,
Just because you have an attitude and you're mad don't mean nothing.
okay.
I know what you can and can't do.
Okay, well, apparently you don't. Face the car, spread your feet.
Man, have fun. Enjoy yourself. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you need to do. I hope y'all body cameras are on.
It is.
Right off the bat, Officer Stevens' demeanor signaled that this traffic stop would surely lead to a poor outcome. And this would be a good assumption since she had already pulled Mr. Mata out of his vehicle in under a minute, even though the alleged crime was simply operating a vehicle with a broken headlight. Not to mention that she implied multiple times that she could order Mr. Mata to do anything, and he must comply regardless. Firstly, in the 1977 case of Pennsylvania v. Mims, the U.S. Supreme Court held that police officers have the authority to order a driver out of their vehicle during a routine traffic stop without violating the Fourth Amendment's prohibition against unreasonable searches and seizures. The court reasoned that such a request is a minimal intrusion on the driver's privacy interests and is justified by the need to ensure officer safety. In simple words, a police officer is allowed to remove you from the car if he or she feels unsafe during a lawful traffic stop. But in this case, it's debatable whether Officer Stevens was truly justified in pulling Mr. Mata out, since he clearly didn't pose a threat to anyone. Plus, Mr. Mata was now placed in handcuffs, which is another questionable action.
Don't worry about it.
Where's your ID?
I don't have one. I already told you. What you having an attitude for? I don't have nothing on me, man.
Okay, come over here. Sit down. What's your last name?
Mata.
How do you spell it?
M-A-T-A.
What's your first name?
Manuel.
Spell it?
M-A-N-U-E-L.
What's your date of birth? Where are you staying at?
I'm homeless.
Where are you headed right now?
Right here to my mom's.
What's your mom's address?
Why?
Because I want to know where you're going.
Oh, yeah, that's not part of the
Okay,
stop, man.
we can do it however you want, bud. We're probably going to end up cash bombing here.
At this point, keep in mind that Mr. Mata has complied with Officer Stevens. He clearly knew that he was obligated to identify himself since he was detained. He gave his full name and date of birth, but when asked about his address, he made it clear that he was homeless. These minor details come into play later in this encounter. Also note that Officer Stevens was pushing her authority by asking about where Mr. Mata's mother lived. It goes without saying that he was not legally obligated to answer any questions of this sort. Regardless, watch as all officers on the scene continue to try and violate both Mr. Mata's and the passenger's constitutional rights.
Can I have a seat next to him for me? They smoked something in here earlier?
I smell it.
You smell it?
Yeah. Y'all don't have permission.
Have a seat next to him, Miss Guadalupe. We don't need permission. It's called probable cause. Have a seat next to him.
What's your probable cause?
He's been giving me issue from the moment of contact, so.
Miss Guadalupe? Miss Guadalupe? Can you stay off your phone for me for now?
You don't have to, man. She can record y'all.
I
Not
asked,
illegal.
I asked her to stay off her phone.
She doesn't have to.
Yes, she does.
No, she don't. That's illegal what y'all doing. Don't worry about it. It's illegal.
Hey, stand up for me. Come over here.
Don't forget to give me your name after you're done, colleagues.
Okay, face the car. Come on in. What's his deal? Where y'all coming from? What are y'all doing over there? So where are y'all headed to? Where's his friend stay at?
As seen in the footage, one of the officers, namely Officer Galbraith, shamelessly ordered the passenger to stay off her mobile phone. This was a clear violation of her First and Fourth Amendment rights. The First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. In the context of this encounter, ordering the passenger to stay off her mobile phone can be seen as infringing upon her freedom of the press and her right to communicate and express herself freely. Meanwhile, the Fourth Amendment states that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause. In this case, ordering the passenger to stay off her mobile phone could be viewed as an unjustified intrusion on her personal property without any legitimate justification or probable cause. It goes without saying that this was completely unlawful, and Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Now, watch as Officer Stevens essentially lies to her supervisor and exaggerates the ordeal to try and justify her unlawful actions. This was not something new for Officer Stevens, as we already know.
Hello? Yeah, sorry, I was talking to somebody. Yeah. I said the fine gentleman on my stop would like to complain to you and speak with our supervisor in regards to how he's been treated on this stop. He didn't want to get out of the car. Finally got out of the car. I said, I'm going to pat you down. And he said, basically, car.
Supervisor, man.
Hey, I'm on the phone with him right now. Chill out.
No, I don't
He
want
doesn't
to chill out,
he doesn't
man.
have a time
You're
warp
doing too
machine.
much.
So then he wanted to argue with me about getting pat down, and so now he's in the back of the car, so. Alright. I said now he's in the back of the car because he won't shut up, so. Alright. Alright, bye. You got anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I got conflicting stories on where they're going and coming from, so. If that helps you at all. Yeah, we're gonna cash one.
Offenses, man.
Will
They ticket.
you hand me
They're
that
also
coffee?
arrestable.
Driving without a license?
Yeah.
Well, do it. Do it.
Thank you, sir.
Don't scare me. You piss me off with not letting her record you. You know you're gonna get in trouble for that.
No, it won't, because
Yeah.
if you're being detained, I don't want you on your phone. I wasn't stopping her from
Yeah, you
recording.
were.
I was stopping her from calling
She
people.
wasn't calling nobody, dumbass. She was recording you. I told her to record you.
Okay.
It's on your camera, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Y'all say y'all was gonna give it. Did y'all have cards? Business cards?
Our name and badges will be on the ticket.
I don't give a about no ticket, man.
Well, that's where our names and badges will be for you.
Nah, well, before y'all let me go, I'm gonna record y'all, and I'm gonna state it on my recording.
Okay, but you're not going anywhere.
Even if y'all take me to jail, it don't matter either.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna take you as soon as our supervisor shows up.
It don't matter. For what?
For no driver's license and a headlight out.
Y'all taking me to jail for no driver's license and no headlights.
Yes, at this point.
Just being petty. That's what
No,
you're doing.
I'm using my discretion. That's
Nah,
all.
you're just mad because I didn't answer your questions and didn't cooperate with you. That's what it is.
I'm gonna put this in so you can take some pictures of him when we get down there.
No, you can't.
No, at that point, if he decides he wants to not take pictures, then we will charge him with interference.
I don't give you permission to.
Here.
I'm not on no gang. I'm not in the gang. Y'all the gang number.
By now, it's as clear as day that both Officer Stevens and Officer Galbraith were up to no good. They have already retaliated against Mr. Mata, and obviously do not plan to stop anytime soon. This becomes even worse when the officers start asking him the same questions that were already answered before, coupled with a few baseless questions too. Note that we've already seen Officer Stevens write all of Mr. Mata's details on her notepad, but watch as she completely disregarded that and claimed that he didn't provide the information.
Mr. Mata, do you still live on South J?
What number on that street?
About that. I don't have to answer none of your questions.
What's your phone number, Mr. Mata? Do you have an email address?
You.
According to the Texas Penal Code, if we ask you your name, date of birth, and address, you have to give us those.
I did.
No, you did not. What's your last name?
Mata.
How do you spell it?
M-A-T-A.
What's your first name?
Manuel.
Spell it.
M-A-N-U-E-L.
What's your date of birth? Where are you staying at?
I'm homeless.
He asked you your address and you said, quote, you.
You asked me.
I asked for your...
Where I was, man, shut up. Ain't nobody talking to you, man.
I was just telling you. You said it wasn't illegal. I said it was illegal.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Okay.
Not answering your questions ain't illegal. I gave you my name, first and last name, and my birthday.
Yeah, and he asked you your address, and that's something you have to give us as well.
Here. You asked me right now.
When you're
Yes.
under arrest.
When you're under arrest and he asked you.
No, that's not.
Okay.
Stop it.
All right.
That's not
I don't know where you learned the penal code, but
I
you're
identify
incorrect.
myself.
Yeah, you have to give your name, date of birth, and address.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't.
All right.
Well, that should have been explained to us earlier instead of an excuse you thought of later on.
I did. I told her I was homeless.
He's in the back of the car. You want me to keep this rolling, or do you want me to turn it off?
What?
Mute my camera.
We can meet her
Okay.
as long as you're done with your investigation.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to you what.
All I asked is whenever she pulled me over or whatever, she asked me if I had a driver. I said no. Right? She got me out of the car. I asked her why was I getting out of the car. She said because the headlights out. I said fine. She tells me to turn around, put my face in the thing. I do. She asked me, now I don't even know what the hell she said after that. But then I kept asking her why. And she told me, put my hands behind my back. Why? Why? All she kept saying was because I said. And then whenever she put me on the back, she kicked my legs out. She didn't have to do all that, man. She didn't have to do all that. I didn't disrespect her. I didn't say nothing. I just asked a simple question. Why? Why? And it turns into I'm arguing. How? If asking why. And then I get on the ground, she asks me my name, I give her my first, my last name, and my birthday. She asks me where my address, I say I'm homeless. Where am I going? Why? Oh, get up, get up, get up. And then she gets her little attitude and throws me in here. And then I ask her, what am I going to jail for?
It's an interesting
She tells me
interpretation.
for no headlight and no license. So all that's cool. All that's cool. Because I asked her why. She got an attitude, put her hands on me wrong, put my face against the window, kicked my legs out like that. Because I asked why. That's part of your policing? That's how it's done, sir?
Yeah, right now you haven't told me illegal, build the wall, or unethical. Is there anything else?
Is your body camera on? That's it. Yeah, I'm done.
Sergeant, you me, or are we good to roll the 350? Mine's still hot.
No, just, I'll get with you later on everything. You're running them in for, you get done with
Okay.
the I'll let you.
Alright, cool. I appreciate you.
Note how the supervisor who arrived on the scene heard both sides of the story, but still did not step in to address the very clear retaliatory actions taken by both officers. This was likely a result of Officer Stevens fabricating lies and telling the supervisor a completely different story. However, it's almost impossible to confirm this because we will likely never know what Officer Stevens told her supervisor since she was quick to mute her body cam, which was rather suspicious anyway. What we know for sure though is the fact that the supervisor favored his officer over Mr. Mata. Anyway, Mr. Mata was now officially arrested for a broken headlight and operating a vehicle without a driver's license. Both officers drove him down to the jail, but that didn't mean their tyranny would finally subside. And Officer Stevens' tobacco spitting didn't stop either.
We're gonna be tied up at 350 for just a few.
Listen, well, since y'all taking me to jail, I'll write your name, the badge number on the paper.
It's on this ticket right here, man.
Huh?
It's on the ticket. Hey, whenever we get to jail, I need to take a look at your tattoos, okay? Make sure you're not a gang member.
Period.
Huh?
It's not, that's not part of y'all policy.
That's part of my job.
Job, man.
Okay, I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know right now. If you don't let me take a look at your tattoos, I'm gonna charge you with interference. Okay?
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
That's not part of the job. Your traffic
No.
over with, bro.
The Texas Code of Criminal Procedure said I have to keep track of gang members.
I have the right to refuse anything.
Okay, well, you're misinformed.
No,
You want me to just go ahead and put
You are. Just
interference now?
Just other people fell for it.
Interference.
No pictures of
He does have to, per the interference statute, it has to be more than verbal provocation alone, so he's gonna have to turn or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just as a, for what it's worth. I don't think that that's gonna be based on his combativeness, but I just wanted to give you a heads up.
take pictures in front of my lawyers. About that. Nigga said interference.
Did you look at his history with us by chance?
No pictures. You ain't taking no shirt off of me. You ain't taking nothing. That's not part of your job, is it?
It is, man.
Nah, you should have did it out there in the street then.
No, I can do it at the jail if I feel it's
can't.
safer there.
No, you can't. I can refuse.
You can refuse, but I'm telling you, if you
That's what I'm gonna
refuse,
do.
you're interfering with my duties.
It's
The
not.
code of
That
criminal
is
procedures.
not your duties.
It-
You're so
it is
stupid
part
that
of my
you're so
duties.
dumb that you even don't.
Okay, well, I know what my job is, and you don't. So I'm letting you know.
You
The
are
state of
not
Texas
taking
says
no
I have
pictures.
to.
Is this recorded? I hope you get it on camera. You are not taking no pictures of me. Period.
As we've seen from the footage, Officer Galbraith threatened to charge Mr. Mata with interference if he refused to take his shirt off in jail to allow the officers to take a closer look at his tattoos and verify whether he was affiliated with a gang or not. According to Texas Penal Code Section 38.15, it stated that a person commits an offense if the person with criminal negligence interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with a peace officer while the peace officer is performing a duty or exercising authority imposed or granted by law. So, for Officer Galbraith to charge Mr. Mata with interference, Mr. Mata must disrupt a legal duty being performed. But the question is, can Officer Galbraith lawfully force Mr. Mata to remove his shirt just so he could look at his tattoos? Well, in determining the reasonableness of such a search, courts would consider factors such as the specific nature of the offense, the individual's behavior or statements suggesting gang affiliation, and whether there is reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe the tattoos are relevant to an ongoing investigation. In this case, however, neither of these factors apply, So it would be logical to say that Officer Galbraith simply wanted to charge Mr. Mata anyway.
I feel like I'm wearing a trash bag. Sweating so badly. Hey, just FYI, my passcode is 00 and then my badge number.
Not gonna give anything on you didn't find outside?
Nah, man.
Hey, wait. You go inside with it? Is it telling you?
Man, come on, bro. I don't have all night to be playing with y'all, man.
I give everybody the same warning, okay?
Y'all didn't find nothing in my car. I don't got shit, bro. Come on.
It might be in your pocket.
Nah, I don't got shit, dude. Need my dick, man. Not that. What else? Sucks for you, right? I told you it's gonna be hard as fuck. Told you. All that cooperating shit with y'all bitches out there.
He didn't take pictures of him, and he is going to be challenging for probably you guys and us both. So just FYI, that's how this is going to go. And
y'all ain't taking no pictures of me, period. Except mug shots. That's it.
what part?
Huh?
What part?
Going with interference.
Okay, I want to at least try so that we have that.
Still recording?
Yes. You want to try? You want me to?
Okay.
I need you to move your hand so, thank you. I need you to move your hand so that I can take a picture of your face. You understand that you're going to be charged with interference if you do not move your hand.
Man, hurry up, man.
I can't when you have your hand in front of your face.
I swear, man. Ooh.
Stick your hands out.
No! No, that's not part of it.
It is.
No, it's not.
Okay, you understand you're going to be charged with interference?
Do what you need to do.
Because you refuse?
It's not interference.
It
Y'all
is.
not I'm not in no
Okay.
gang. Y'all didn't put me over in no gang activity.
Okay.
You
I'm gonna ask
put me
you one
over
more time.
because headlight.
ask you one
And
more
you got
time.
mad because I told you no. I
I'm going to
ain't
ask
telling
you
you
one more
shit.
time to put your hands out so I can take pictures.
No,
If you're refusing, you will be charged with interference.
it's not. It's
Yes.
not. Your
I'm letting
job
you know.
is done.
I'm letting you know.
Your job is over with.
You'll be charged with interference, no problem.
Don't matter.
Okay.
Ultimately, Mr. Motto was booked in jail for driving without a license, interference with public duties, failure to identify, and resisting arrest. As you can tell, most of these charges were completely bogus. As of the date of this recording, the charges are yet to be filed against Mr. Mata, and the reason is likely that the officers know they're false. But this hasn't stopped Fort Worth police officers from pulling Mr. Mata over, telling him there's a warrant out for his arrest, taking him to jail, and then realizing that no charges were filed. This has been an ongoing issue for Mr. Mata, even today. Be sure to check out our previous video, where we cover another outrageous police encounter.